Before we get to Ohio State, where you will be, I want to talk about the team that beat them in the horseshoe last week in Oklahoma, and Baker Mayfield, who planted the flag.
Carved them up.
Dotted the O with the flag.
The score wasn't even a reflection of how much I thought Oklahoma dominated that game. So, look, I mean, he's the top of my Heisman list right now because nobody has had a more impressive showing than he did. We actually had OU week 1, and they looked really sharp. He only played a half. The offensive line's really good, but I think what people really need to acknowledge with him is they lost D.D. Westbrook, who won the Biletnikoff Award. They lost Joe Mixon and Samaje Perine, who were two of the best running backs they've ever had there. So it wasn't like he had a lot of skill guys, and he went up against an Ohio State defense where a lot of people think it's the best, deepest defensive line, and he just cut them apart. I mean, it was quite a show by him.
Well, what is Lincoln? Is Lincoln Riley brought something different than Stoops at all, do you think?
I think it's just a team that has grown and gotten closer together. I mean, I talked to those guys earlier this week about that. A lot of credit to Lincoln Riley. That's his first career road game as a head coach, and he had a great game plan.
Yeah, he did.
They attacked a lot of weak spots they found with OSU, but also I thought some of the things he set up, I mean, they had guys running free, and credit to Baker to the way he executed. But I think, Lincoln Riley, you give him an A++ for how he responded. You don't usually see Urban Meyer and his staff get out-coached like that.
And then, the planting of the flag in the middle of the field, for which Baker Mayfield apologized on Monday, and we had him on Tuesday's show. And, we joke with him, like when you make a chess move, you keep your finger on the piece, and it's not officially a chess move until your finger's removed. It seemed like his finger was still on the flag yesterday.
If I went back in time, I wouldn't necessarily go back and, do it any differently. It was what it was. It happened. It was emotional, and I think we deserved it. We deserve to celebrate in every bit of it. But there's a lot of sensitive people in this world, in this day and age. So, I'm going to offend a lot of people, the nature of being in the position I'm in.
That's what he had to say.
That's Baker being Baker. Look, it wasn't like he flipped off the stadium. So I think we should keep this in some context. I think in Baker's mind, he looked at it and go, well, they were singing on their fight song on our field last year, and this was him one-upping them. He doesn't have to go play them in Columbus again. If he ever gets to see them again, maybe it'll be in the playoff, and that's a stretch. So, look, I don't think in the grand scheme of things we've seen a lot more offensive stuff, and I do think people get outraged and different things. But I was sitting there on Saturday night when I saw him, like, he's going to do this, isn't he? And sure enough, he jammed it right into the heart of it.
Well, Fowler, I know you're buddies with going back in the day. He saw it coming too. He's like, he's not going to plant that flag, is he? Is he going to really do that? And then right down there in the field turf.
Yeah, it's Baker being Baker,
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on radio stations across the country and audience.
Isn't it amazing you can download an app with your thumbprint? You should download our app with your thumbprint.